Welcome into a very special edition of the Stingray Show. I am your host, Stephen Ray, and today we are actually going to be talking with head coach Hugh Freeze. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we get you primed and ready for the national championship game tonight and look back at an amazing season for the Liberty Flames right here only on the Stingray Show.
The Dogs and Stingray are coming for you.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn.
Worst defense ever!
So without further ado, here is the biggest Alabama going for the field goal. The kick is up. It is away. It is no good. Chris Davis bringing it out of the end zone. Oh, he's got blockers. Chris Davis up the sideline. Here he goes.
Here we go, guys. Dobbs back to pass, launching the ball. Jennings, he's got it. Jennings, he's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. They shocked the Dogs in Sanford Stadium. Are you kidding me? My God Almighty! What an epic way for the Tennessee-Georgia rivalry to end this game. What a play! Wow!
Welcome inside another exciting edition of the Stingray Show, everybody. I'm your host, Stephen Ray, and let me just go on ahead and pull up my co-host, Heath. Heath, how are you doing today, sir, on this chilly, cold, and snowy morning across the entire Southeast?
Yeah, we got some snow here in the Mid-South in the Memphis area. I woke up in my home here in Hernando, and it's just snowing like crazy.
Yes, so it's an exciting time for some, while others, like myself, is just seeing a cold rain right now. But without further ado, let's go on ahead and bring on our very special guest for the third time from the Liberty Flames. Here is head coach Hugh Freeze. Coach, how are you doing today, sir?
I can't hear you.
Coach, how are you
doing? Can you hear me? Am I coming in, Coach?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you, Coach.
I can't hear y'all.
Oh, wow, we got technical
I can't
difficulties.
hear you.
All right. Steven,
Yes.
take Coach out and see if you can't bring him back up.
Okay, cool. All right, let me refresh real quick, and I'll be right back. Going ahead, I'm going to pull you up full screen.
All right. Wow. Coach Freeze there on the mountain. I'm sure they got snow on the mountain up there, but a little technical difficulties as we start on Monday. It wouldn't be Monday morning, right, without technical difficulty. No, we were talking to Coach before the show, and we thought we had all this figured out. Let's try it one more time. Steven, you got Coach with us?
I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
All right, let's try it again. Coach, can you hear us?
Coach, you there?
And now he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I hear you fine.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear us.
No noise at all. No, it's like it's muted.
Wow.
I guess it's a restream problem. My bad, guys. Can you refresh and then come back in, Coach?
Why don't you send Coach a text?
Okay.
And I will. Yeah, go on and pull me up, and we'll figure this out.
Okay, I apologize, guys.
Live TV, gotta love it, right?
Yes. All right.
Hey, Coach tonight is going to be helping out doing the coaches broadcast for the national championship game tonight. He was kind enough to come on the show. We were going to talk about his thrilling bowl game victory and his season that he had. We're also going to ask him about the timetable of what things are like for coaches this time of year and how the schedule really flows and how events really happen when we talk about coaching rumors and stuff. So with that being said, Stephen, any luck?
Let's try again now because he's popped back up.
All right,
Coach,
here we go.
can you hear us now? Coach, can you hear us?
You got me now?
Yeah, I do.
I got you.
Hear us.
All right, now y'all are the predator. It'll straighten out in a minute, I think.
Yes, the predator effect. If anyone has ever used Restream before, well, we call the thing the predator effect.
I got you now.
There we go. And I was about to say, the first couple of seconds, it sounds like that. Well, Coach, do you have snow on the mountain this morning?
No snow. It's cloudy and overcast. Looks like it could snow, but no snow. And we had a beautiful weekend.
Well, there's snow in Senatobia and Independence as we speak.
I'm sorry?
I said there's snow in Senatobia and Independence as we speak.
That is odd.
So
I'll have to call my parents this morning and check on them. But we've had beautiful weather here. Yesterday it was 50 plus and nothing but sun, and we had a great golf match after church yesterday, so it was fun.
What'd you shoot, Coach?
Not good. Not good. I shot 81. That was
That's better than me, brother.
disappointed in the way I'm playing right now.
So, well, Coach, would you rather have a good football season and a bad golf game, or vice versa?
The good football season every time.
There you go. There you go.
Coach, let's go in and talk about the bowl game, man. What were your thoughts going in?
Stingray's still muted, I think.
All right. Well, Coach Louis, I'll talk to you about that. Stephen, why don't you just pull me and Coach up real quick?
Okay. All right.
Coach, let's talk about your bowl game. Stephen was asking about the bowl game.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on a thrilling bowl game victory?
Incredible, winning against, a top, whatever you consider them. I mean, they were top 10 in one poll, top 15 in every poll. So, getting to end our season winning against a quality opponent like that was certainly a very rewarding. At the same time, we made it a lot harder than it had to be. There at the end where we're in complete control of the clock and inside the 5-yard line. We certainly learned a lot from that experience there that we hopefully won't repeat the same way again. But just, heck of a game. And our kids just believed that we were going to, win the game, and never really doubted that. Coastal, congratulate them on a great year. But I'm, on behalf of our kids, I think we had out of the non-Power 5, I think we had the most quality wins of any non-Power 5 school. Hopefully, the final poll reflects that.
Coach, what bowl game do you guys thought you should have been in? Because I thought you guys should have gotten a much better bowl.
Well, we don't. I don't get into the stuff that I can't control. I usually, there's no need in me worrying about that. And I think the minute that I do, I'm distracted, and our kids take on my persona, my personality. And my personality is here. We control what we can control, and that's play the next play, whatever that is. And we love the Cure Bowl. We're 2-0 in it. We love Orlando. It's usually sunny and warm. It wasn't that warm on that night. So we're thankful that we got a quality opponent in that. I think I don't know that there's a lot of people that I think most people felt like it's not so much the Cure Bowl. It was they would have liked to seen us and Coastal both play Power 5 teams, and whatever bowl they put us in. But we were thrilled with the matchup, and obviously I think both of us on this given year could compete with many of the Power 5s, and that's probably what people are more talking about.
Coach, can you hear me now? Coach, can you hear me?
Heath, you still on?
Stephen, yeah, I'm still here. I guess Stephen was trying to ask
both of you now.
You lost both of us. All right, Stephen, take it down. Well, can you hear me now, Coach? This is the craziest thing. We have never had this many problems. Can you hear anything?
I don't have anybody now.
All right, hang on one second, Coach. Stephen, refresh us. Coach, we have never had this problem. I mean, we've had it from the very beginning with the predator effect, but after the predator effect, it clears up really quick.
Heath, can you hear me now?
I hear you fine, Stephen.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you, Coach.
Can't hear you guys.
That's the craziest thing.
Man, I don't know what's going on. So go ahead and talk real quick. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, try to get Coach, and we'll figure this out. We can't hear you, Coach.
You want me to get out and call you back?
Yes, please.
That's the craziest thing.
Man, I do not know. I guess it's a restream issue. It's because I've got 10 out of 10. You've got 10 out of 10, and we just really want to get this interview in with Coach Freeze. All right, so I'm going to go down and pull both of y'all back up.
Okay. Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I hear you, yes.
Can't hear you.
Why couldn't this happen?
I had Stingray just then before he left. I could hear him.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Stingray.
All right. Well, let's go ahead.
Now, you're Predator, so give it a minute.
Okay. So anyway, hey, man, live TV, correct?
Yeah. Steven, Coach, what about me?
I got you now.
Okay, you got Steven?
Can you hear me?
He's still a little Predator, but I got noise now.
We apologize for this, Coach. We apologize. All right. So
all good.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and talk now about the national championship game tonight. What are your thoughts on the national championship game, because you're helping out with it?
You're going to have to help me. He's still muffled.
Got it, Coach. Steven was asking about the national championship. We need that guy that does the sign language, right?
Yes.
Steven was asking about the national championship game. He was wanting to get your thoughts about tonight's matchup.
Well, I'm excited, obviously, to see, two of the best teams. Obviously, they have proven they belong in this game. And, I haven't studied Ohio State as much outside of their last game, but I think they're going to match Alabama's scoring potential. And I think it'll really come down to, which defenses play the best in the red zone. Outside of turnovers, that's the easy one everybody can talk about. But really, I think outside of that, if you look at which defenses were able to hold the other offenses to field goal attempts, that's probably going to be your winner. I think both offenses will move the ball. I think they'll both score points. It's just which defense can force those field goal attempts instead of giving up touchdowns.
Coach, how many calls a week do you get, especially during the season, about beating Alabama? I mean, it seems like you had the recipe to do it.
Yeah, it's not as many as it used to be. There's a lot of that some time has passed, but this year it kind of kicked back up because Coach Saban gave us credit for kind of changing his thinking offensively, and they've certainly become much more difficult to defend since they started getting in the tempo and RPO world. So I did get that kind of kicked back up some of the calls, but I think it's well documented that Coach Saban and I are good friends and have great respect for what he does, and certainly he's always got one of the better rosters in college football, and and they're going to be competitive for a national championship most any year. A lot of that is the roster, but you've got to have a guy that can manage it and run it, and then handle the staff to make sure you're playing your best, because you get other people's best shots, and he's one of the best at doing that.
Coach, I was going to ask you about that. Your relationship with Coach Saban, what's that like?
I consider ourselves we've vacationed together, so we've done that twice, and love Miss Terry. And I saw a different side of him the first time we went to visit with them at their lake house, and I think he had respect for me because of the way we came into Ole Miss and were able to compete with them, and not many people at that time were doing that in our league. And We competed pretty quick with them, and were able to beat them twice, and easily could have done it a third time had we not turned the dang ball over. But so I think there's mutual respect there, but also there's just a friendship that we can communicate outside of football about other things.
Coach, can you hear me?
Stephen was trying to ask you. Is Stephen out?
Let me hear. Try it, Stephen.
All right, Coach, can you hear me?
He's out.
Okay. Hey, is there any kind of jawing or trash talking between you and Coach Saban during these vacations and lake house visits?
Oh yeah, on the golf course, absolutely. He's a trash talker.
Really?
His players wouldn't want me to say that. No, he's really not he'll needle you. He's not a trash talker, but he likes to have the bets before we tee off. He likes to have them skewed in his favor.
Oh, really?
That's my opinion. He probably say different. That's my opinion of it.
Give us an example of these bets and this needling that he does.
Oh, listen, he has a yellow legal pad that he has to keep up. He's got more who's closest to the pin on every hole. I mean, he keeps up with all of it now. He is thorough. And I just told him, man, just tell me what I owe at the end of the round. I can't keep up with all of it.
Oh, with that being said, Coach, you're going to be flying down for the game tonight, correct?
Correct.
And so what will you be doing during tonight's game?
Well, I've done this before for ESPN, and they invited me to so, they have different broadcasts of it. You have the normal one with Herb Street and I guess Fowler and those guys that do that. And then I think you've got one on ESPN2 with some more media personalities. And then you got the ESPN News, which is the coach's version of the game, and that's the one that I will be on with Gene Chizik and maybe a few others. I'm not sure, but I know Gene and I will be on there and kind of dissecting what we see happening in the game.
Gotcha.
Coach, can you hear me now?
Stephen, I guess you're out. Stephen's trying to ask you a question, Coach.
I can't hear him.
Stephen, I might have to fly solo on this one, buddy.
Okay, that's fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Stephen.
Okay, real quick, I would like for you to ask Coach.
All right, Stephen wants me to ask you a question, Coach. What is it, Stephen?
All right, I want you to ask Coach, please, how this pandemic has changed recruiting across the board for coaches.
Coach, Stingray wants to know, how has this pandemic changed recruiting for coaches all across the board?
Yeah.
Well, it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
You're living and in the recruiting world is solely driven by communication through Zoom right now, or FaceTime, or texting and phone calls, which was pretty normal anyway. But really, this new world of visual recruiting through technology is the way of the world right now. It was the entire recruiting class of last year, and by the time we are set free to resume as normal, which who knows when that is. Right now it's set for April 15th as a tentative date, but every date has been backed up, so I don't know that will happen either. And so you're basically looking at two classes that you have recruited by trying to evaluate and get to know young men and their families through the virtual world. And it's I don't know. There's parts that I really like. I don't like going on the road to begin with, and I know our assistant coaches love being at home with their families. But you certainly need times to go eyeball and see kids and get to know them a little better than probably we're able to do on Zoom and other forms. But it is what it is. We can't complain about it, and we're not in control of it. So we've got to do the best we can. And I think we signed a heck of a class so far, in the 18 that we signed in the early period. And now you add to this dilemma that we're facing with not being able to go and get to know kids and families in recruiting, and you add to it this new transfer portal world that we're getting ready to experience. And man, we're in for a roller coaster ride. I mean, rosters can now change drastically in a matter of days. And I don't know, somebody's going to have to sit down and have some reasonable discussions with the coaches, because I don't know that the people that have made and is going to pass these have really taken into account the dilemma they're putting us in and trying to manage a roster. I mean, we theoretically, guys, we could go into spring ball, feel pretty good about our team, as could any other team, and then May, you lose 10 guys to this transfer portal world. And how do you, which that's fine if that's what we want to do. I don't think it's a great practice for our sport, but if that's that's fine. But you've got to let us replace those 10. You can't say that, oh yeah, they can leave, but now you can't sign anymore, or you're going. And then it becomes a health and safety issue for your team to not have the number of bodies to go into a season. So somebody's got to have some discussions pretty quick about how do we manage the roster when you do lose some to this transfer world.
Right.
Coach, I heard the guys on Super Talk Mississippi talk about this, and I thought they made a good point. We're going to get a lot of things wrong in recruiting here this year. Coaches aren't able to evaluate, no camps, things like that. And they thought that the transfer portal would just blow up because there's going to be some things that there was a lot of things that we might be getting wrong, coaches. How do you feel about that aspect of it? Do you think that we're going to see a lot of transactions going on, transitions?
Yeah, the people that are going to get hurt in this are the high school kids. And it's not our intention.
Right.
But we can't go and see them. We can't bring them to camp right now. We can't. So if you're in our shoes, I saved, 9 scholarships just because I believe that the transfer world, I can evaluate them on tape.
Yes.
Right.
They played in some games. And and that's not ideal because you still don't get to trip them. You don't get to home visit. So, but it's less of we're all about risk management, and there's probably less of a risk of signing a transfer. I mean, there's some no-brainers for sure, but those are at schools like, the Power 5 top echelon. There's some no-brainers for sure, but when you have to really be a good evaluator of talent, and you can't bring them to camp, and you can't go and see them live, we would lean toward, man, let's look at the transfer portal. And unfortunately, a byproduct of all of this is, I think it's going to be several negatives. One, I think high school kids will have fewer opportunities. And I also think that that there's not a good enough understanding of this transfer portal by the current college players. I think you might see a lot of kids enter it and not have a home because of the current setup with initial scholarships and stuff. And that's going to create another issue. So we were on our head coach's call the other day, and we're not really excited about the next few months of this profession we're in. Not because we don't love it, but because we do love it. And there needs to be some more common sense approaches with in some of these decision-making meetings.
Coach, walk us through the process of how a coaching change happens at a major university. We'll take the South Central Louisiana State University Mud Dogs from Bobby Boucher and the Waterboy. Let's pretend they're a Power 5 team. They're a blue blood of college football, and there's a head coach opening. And how does that process start? And they're interested in a guy like you. I'm sure they're contacting your agent. How does that process work?
Yeah, that if you have an agent, you usually like for those guys to have those initial conversations, and you kind of judge the interest of both halves, both parties, through the agent. And the agent says there's interest on their behalf. Do you have interest? And you obviously answer that. If the answer is yes to both sides, then there's further discussions. Usually at that point you would get on the phone with whoever the committee is that is in the decision-making process, whether it's just the AD, whether it's the AD, the president, whether it's a search firm that they are using. So usually that's the next step if there's interest on both sides. And then from there, if both parties leave that phone call feeling really good about each other, there's usually a face-to-face meeting somewhere.
Yes.
And by that time, there's probably an offer coming to somebody that has gone those 3 steps.
Gotcha. You mentioned the search firm. I read a fascinating article a few years back about the search firm. How do search firms work as far as a head coach? How do you guys view them and use them to your advantage?
I don't. That's more the partnership with the search firms, usually with the school, and the coach really doesn't. You just hope you have a good relationship with that search firm, that they'll speak positively on your behalf if they're the ones that are vetting all the possible candidates, because their recommendation usually carries some weight. They don't ultimately have the final decision. Obviously the university does, but they do usually carry some weight. So you just hope you have, that you're seen and viewed in somewhat of a positive light to whoever is being used by that university, if it's something that you want to pursue.
Gotcha.
Hey, quick, can you ask Coach?
I got you now, Stingray.
Oh, you can hear him now?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about all this technical issues, Coach. But real quick, I would like to get your prediction for tonight's game. Who's winning in Miami and why?
Alabama, 38-31.
Okay.
Wow. I was expecting you to give us the political answer there, Coach. You gave us a prediction and a score.
I don't know if I'm supposed to do that since I'm broadcasting it, but
right.
That's what I believe will happen.
Yes.
But I am, obviously, I pull for. I think Ryan Day's a heck of a coach too. But obviously, when you're friends with somebody, you kind of pull for that team. But I think Alabama wins it. I think Devontae Smith and Najee Harris are just now. Trey Sermon's just pretty dang good too, and so is that number 2 receiver for Ohio State and others. But I think it's going to be a good game, heck of a game, and looking forward to seeing it.
Coach, we had Tony Barnhart on the show several times, and I asked Tony, is Nick Saban the greatest coach in college football history? And he gave us this long answer, but he wrapped it up with this. He said, Nick Saban is the greatest coach in college football history, but Bear Bryant's the greatest coach of all time at Alabama. Which made us both laugh.
Yeah.
But how do you rank Coach Saban on what he's done, and how in the world did he maintain this success?
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble with this one. I think the media has it all wrong in ranking coaches. I really do, and I've coached against Coach Saban, and I think he is one of the best ever. But I do think I think you have to take it's a hard balance. If you're always coaching the best roster, you're certainly going to be one of the best coaches.
Absolutely.
And that is, I just think there's a lot of coaches that take lesser talent and find a way to win a lot of games that don't get enough credit in all this ranking of coaches and things. So nothing, again, I've already stated how I feel about Coach Saban. I think for him to sustain that success and manage all that he has to manage is phenomenal. And he's certainly one of the best ever to do it. I think the media, I don't know that they take all the factors that are really into account when judging a coach. There's some coaches that win 6 games a year and go to a bowl game, and they probably did twice the job that some others did,
Right.
and that's hard in today's society because it's all about what is the record, and nobody. I think the job our staff's done here at Liberty is unbelievable.
Yes.
To go from FCS to FBS and being a top 25 ranking in year 2 is pretty phenomenal. And there were others this year. Tom Allen, who's a dear friend of mine, great job. I think the coach of the year this year, believe it or not, if I had a vote on that, Brent Brennan at San Jose is the winner, because I've been there. I know what he has to deal with, and he never got to practice at his facility. He was all over the place, and I think he probably – I shouldn't say. I mean, there's a lot of deserving candidates, but he certainly probably did more with less.
Coach, let me ask you that. Who, in your opinion, who is the greatest coaches of all time in your opinion?
Oh, man.
You could name 3 or 4, 2 or 3, however many you want to name. 1,000 if you'd like.
Man, I don't know. I probably don't need to answer that one. Nick would be one of them for sure. But, man, I'd have to sit down. Let's do that on the next time I interview, and I'll have a list ready.
Okay.
I want to think through that one.
Okay, we can do that.
And my final – can you hear me, Coach?
Yep.
We're good? Okay. My final question for you is this. Where would you rank Malik Heath as one of the best players that you have ever coached?
Malik Willis, right?
Malik Willis, sorry, yeah. Sorry.
He's top. He's up there. He's top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And he might be the top after another year of seeing him develop.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll have a normal spring practice and he can get that under his belt. And he, as good as he was, there's a lot of things he knows he can improve on.
Yes.
Coach, I want to go the human interest route and keep it local. My last couple of questions. When you return to the Mid-South area and you come back and see your parents and you see mom and dad, where are some of the restaurants you go hit up?
Como Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Ajax on the square. Grill House on the square. I like Phillips Grocery. The burger there is pretty dang good. Those probably. My daughters are always going to want to go to Nuke's for lunch one day. We don't have Nuke's here, so it's those are pretty much it.
I got you.
And Funky's to visit with my friends for pizza. Funky's has the best pizza in town.
I've never – all those others I've had. I've never had Funky's. I'll have to check that one out.
Go get you some pizza there.
I will absolutely do that. Hey, Coach, being from the Memphis area, of course, this is a famous question with Memphians and Mid-South.
Now, if you want to go to Memphis now, Tops Barbecue.
That's what I was going for.
It's my favorite barbecue sandwich, and 3 Little Pigs for breakfast. It does not get any better.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What's your favorite barbecue joint? So it's Tops, huh?
Tops for the barbecue sandwich, yes.
Okay.
Rendezvous for their sausage cheese plate, and probably Interstate for just straight barbecue. I don't know, but the sandwich for sure. I love the Tops barbecue sandwich.
I hear you. Coach, I'll wrap this up. Let's take it back to you're a teenager, your days at Northwest, as I was at Northwest as well. It's a Friday afternoon and a weekend coming up. What is a young Hugh Freeze doing?
Is the sunshine still out?
Sun's out. Sun's sure.
Out. We're fishing, or playing ball somewhere, a pickup basketball game probably, and then at night you're going to get with your friends and you're going to drive from McDonald's all the way around town to Sonic, then drive back around to McDonald's, then back to Sonic, stop a little bit in Walmart parking lot, have a conversation or two, then drive around some more. Hopefully you had a girlfriend that would ride around with you some, and that was the hope that you could get some more friends to join in on your ride around. But that's usually what a teenager in my hometown would do, playing a lot of country music, of course.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, Coach, this will be my last question. We'll wrap up. You played baseball at Northwest Community College. Who is the best pitcher that you ever faced, or best player in general that had huge success on a bigger level?
The best player, and this told me how good those guys are. The best player I ever played with was Bill Selby. And, he's coaching at Northwest now. He's from Horn Lake, and best hitter I'd ever played with. And he made, he played in the majors for, 4, 5, 6 seasons. He's now coaching back at Northwest with my best man in my wedding, Mark Carson, who's the head coach there. So anytime I get back here, I try to stop by there and say hello to them and get a Coleman's barbecue from Senatobia there. It's the best one in town there. So, but he was the best that I actually batted behind him. He was the third hitter at Northwest. I hit in the fourth slot a good part of the year, and there was a lot of times they walked him to get to me. So.
That's a good one, Coach. Well, Coach, make your list out of best coaches, and also make me a list of fried bologna sandwiches, and we'll ask you that next time on the show.
We can do that. I get my bologna where I get my shoes back in Mississippi. Williams Country Store, man.
That's right. I've been there many times.
Well, Coach,
Coach,
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to thank you again for joining us, and please tell everybody where they can find you tonight. Is it going to be ESPNU or ESPN2?
ESPN News.
Okay, gotcha.
ESPN News.
Okay. Well, man, enjoy your time down in Miami. Be safe, and we will do it again, Coach. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Take care, Coach.
Thanks. Dude, I was flustered there for just a second because of all the technical issues that we had. But like I said, I do apologize about all of that. But, at least we were able to get the interview in. And thank you, Heath, for taking over.
Well, this isn't my first live TV experience. So, it's anytime you go live, it can go crazy. But Stephen, the secret of going live is very simple. There's 2 things. Don't go live with a small child or a live animal, and you'll be just fine. You can get through any of those. You put those 2 in there, you can't recover from that.
I know, right. So, what are your thoughts about the game tonight?
I still like Alabama. I think it'll get into a track meet. And I think Ohio State could run fast, but, you're talking about the Olympic speed of Alabama right now. They can fly, they can run, they can do it all. That defense for Alabama has gotten better and better each game. It kind of reminds me of LSU's defense last year. LSU's defense didn't show up until early mid-November last year, and they started getting better game by game in November. And, of course, we saw in the last 2 or 3 games of the regular season, the SEC championship, and then the 2 playoff games. So, their last 5, 6 games last year, they were really solid on defense. And I think that's where we are with Alabama right now. They're starting to get better and better and better each game on defense. And they hadn't really shown that all season. But I think Ohio State thinks they can outshoot Alabama. I don't know if that's the case or not. Right. I will say this. I was listening to Jesse Palmer yesterday on ESPN, and he made a great point, and I agreed with everything he said, which is shocking because I don't know if I've ever agreed with Jesse Palmer, right? No, Jesse Palmer said that Ohio State is going to blitz and blitz heavy and blitz hard against Mac Jones because Alabama has not struggled at all once on offense this year. And they're going to go in and try to disrupt Alabama very early and as often as possible. So look for an overly aggressive Ohio State team on defense. They're trying to disrupt Alabama, if not make it a physical contest and, hit Mac Jones in the mouth more than once. And
let me say this, it's a basketball term, but live by the 3, die by the 3, live by the blitz, die by the blitz tonight because of all the weapons that they've got on the perimeter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you blitz, you're leaving a guy open over the middle. You're leaving a guy open down the sideline.
Yes.
Zone blitzes, I think, will be key tonight.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see how Ohio State draws things up. But, I'm really liking a fun game, a high-scoring game.
Yes.
I'm not going to be shocked if these teams, if not both of these teams, get in the 40s.
Yeah.
But I definitely think both of them get into the 30s tonight. So I expect a fun game. But I think at the very end, Alabama makes several more plays than Ohio State. But I'll say this. If Alabama jumps out on Ohio State early, kind of like what Clemson did to Alabama a couple of years back, this game's going to get ugly. It's going to be Alabama all night. I don't expect that to happen.
Right.
But if it does, roll, Tide, roll.
Yep. Well, let me pull up this comment because this came in right at the end of Hugh Freeze's interview. Do you really feel like, Richard, that Hugh Freeze takes the job and that Nick Saban retires? I'm asking there because that's a rather interesting little statement there. And Hugh Freeze, he is open to coming, and wanting to go to another place. So my question is, do you feel like that this is the end for Nick Saban or Coach Saban?
Nope. No. Coach Saban, I think everybody in the SEC wants it to be the last game for Coach Saban.
Yes.
It's just crazy of what's happening. But I actually like Richard's other comment. I know that'll probably take up the whole screen.
Maybe not. Well, yeah. All right, hold on.
I love that.
That's
all right. The last time the Browns won a playoff game,
there we go,
was on New Year's Day, 1995. The next day, Alabama beat Ohio State in the Citrus Bowl. Browns defensive coordinator, Nick Saban. Yes,
absolutely. Well, man, so you are going with the Tide tonight. I'm actually staying with my initial pick. I'm staying with Ohio State just simply because I think they are the fresher team. And I think they're going to be extra motivated to come into this game to prove the committee correct that they deserve to be there.
Yeah, I don't know what Chad's comment. You see Chad's comment? I have no idea what Chad's comment is. I have no idea what you're talking about, Chad Hassan.
He is at Auburn, right, because of Brian Harsin took that job. So. But I will say this, though. I will be interested to see what kind of a statement that Sark wants to make tonight going to Texas because the two previous offensive coordinators had already taken jobs, but they did not do well in the national championship game, a.k.a. Lane Kiffin, who left. And then, of course, Locksley from Maryland. If you look at the offensive game plan that Mike Locksley put together against Clemson, that was atrocious.
Yeah, it was.
So it's going to be.
Sark is a different animal.
Right.
Let's visit the unpleasantries in the most pleasant way as possible.
Yep.
Sark didn't lose his job from losing.
Right.
He didn't lose his job at USC from losing.
Yep.
Sark was a super hot name when he got the job at Washington.
Yes.
Won at a high level. Got the job at USC, was winning, and was building a program, and was starting to win at a high level, and lost his job due to alcoholism, which he has completely recovered from and got on top of, and is defeating daily. And I salute the man for that. That's not a knock in the slightest form or a backhand comment or anything of the sort. Sark is a phenomenal coach. I got a cough coming. Excuse me.
Okay. All right.
But Sark is a phenomenal coach. And he's a phenomenal offensive mind. He's going to be a phenomenal head coach. Sadly, he's going to the University of Texas. This is a backhand comment at the University of Texas, and that's Sark. Texas, shut up and get out of your own way. The reason you're not successful is because of your greed. You've busted up 2 conferences already, Texas. You destroyed the Southwest Conference with your greed. You've had multiple teams leave the Big 12 because of your greed. And the Big 12's a joke. It's been a massive joke for a while now, and it's because of you, Texas. and you're not a national power, and you haven't been for a while. You're not a blue blood. Texas greed has just been a joke. Can Sark fix that? Yeah, but the billionaires have and get out of the way. I know their egos are there, and I know everybody wants to have their hand in the cookie jar and brag on, oh, it's me. I brought in Sark. Oh, it's me. I did this. It's me. It's me. Everyone has a plan out there, and everyone thinks they're the smartest man in the room. Shut up, get out of the way, let the head coach do his job. Alabama had this exact same problem, and Nick Saban finally convinced the folks at Alabama, let me run the program. And look what he's done. Texas, if you ever want to be successful, shut up, get out of the way.
By the way, I'm sorry I went away for a second. We actually had just a small issue of breaking news this morning. Now, this has nothing to do with the national championship game, but I would like to get your take on this since we are talking about the Big 12. Bob Stoops has just been named into the College Football Hall of Fame class for 2021.
Stoops is not done coaching.
No.
He's not done at all.
Now, he was in the gig with the XFL at Dallas before they shut down.
Yeah. It's Stephen, he's going to choose what job he wants.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked, and I don't expect this to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if Bob Stoops took a high school job. I really wouldn't.
And then work his way back up.
No. Bob Stoops could name his price and work at any job. If he wanted to go to Texas, he could have gone to Texas.
Yes.
Bob Stoops could get any job he wants to in America. I mean, he's big game Bob. But I think Bob got tired of all the things that come with the head coach, with all the boosters, all the recruiting, all this. I think he took that XFL gig just because it was going to be fun. Like, hey, I get to coach. I don't have to recruit. I don't have to do coaches shows. I don't have to go to these booster dinners. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I don't have to, write letters and meet with politicians. And I can just show up and coach. I think he misses coaching. I think he doesn't miss all the other stuff. And I think that's why he's out of college coaching right now, is that, that's a crazy job. I mean, you're meeting with all kinds of people all day long. There's a lot to do with that. But when you're coaching the XFL, you just got to show up and do what you want to do, right?
Now, I do want to also make a mention down here that the FPI is still correct at 63%. However, the line has moved from 7.5 up to Alabama by 9.
Really? I'm not a betting man, but that shocks me a lot, actually.
So when I made this graphic last week, it was at 7.5. It has now jumped to 9 the morning of the game.
Wow.
I just checked it.
Wow, that's kind of impressive.
Yep. So anyway, well, real quick, how do you usually watch the championship game?
Yelling at 4 kids to eat dinner, get a shower, and get in bed. That's how I usually watch it. We've got a busy household. I got kids. Well, we're in the middle of a birthday.
Right.
But right now, currently, it'll change by the end of this week. My oldest will turn 12, but right now it's 11, 10, 4, and 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, we're doing homework. We're eating dinner. Someone's either got Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, choir, gymnastics, baseball, football. So we got something going on. But this time of year is actually slow for us. They canceled basketball season due to COVID. So tonight we'll probably just have maybe gymnastics. I think tonight is all we got. Maybe.
You're not going to be able to watch it?
No, I'll be able to watch it. Well, hang on. I'll have it on. I'll be able to watch it later on.
Yes.
When I hear Chris Fowler start yelling and getting excited over a touchdown, I'll go in and watch the replay and
yes,
and go from there. But I'll sit down and try to watch it, but
right,
I'll get to watch it in like 3 to 6 minute segments, and then I'll have to dry somebody off, threaten them with their life to get in bed. Right, the other.
I don't usually watch. I'm not a traditional type guy when it comes to the championship game. I will be flipping back and forth between what the coaches say, Hugh Freeze and Gene Chizik on ESPN News. And then I kind of like to watch the Stats Center because they have both of the boxes. They have the full screen, the sky cam. Then they have the two coaches down here in the bottom, and then they have the stats in between them. That's the way that I watched both of the semifinals, and it's really interesting to watch and see how the trends go of the yards per play and that kind of stuff as the game progresses, because I'm a big stats person.
Yeah. I will probably listen to the coaches' broadcast tonight.
Right.
Only because I love picking the minds of coaches. I love to pick their brains and what they're thinking about certain situations and things. Right. And also former players. I remember a couple of years ago they brought Tebow on set for the national championship game, and he nailed the final championship game score and all. Like, predicted it 100% correct.
Yes.
So, I always love getting the insight of those guys. But, I remember, Stephen, a very quick story. I remember a couple of years ago when Dak Prescott was still at Mississippi State in that famous game when they went down to Baton Rouge and just blew out LSU and got ahead by, gosh, I want to say 4 scores.
Right.
Of course, LSU got some garbage time, and I think they cut it to 8 points something at the end of the game. But with that being said, I remember watching Brock Heward pick Mississippi State. Basically, it was all the quarterbacks.
Yes.
All the quarterbacks that picked Mississippi. Herb Street picked Mississippi State. There was somebody else from ESPN. And I kind of laughed. I was like, those guys are seeing something. They're seeing something with quarterback play or something. And so I did not expect Mississippi State to win that game that night in Baton Rouge. I didn't expect them to win it all. Yeah, you did?
Man, I'm going to tell you what. That was actually the first rant that I did for the Feinbaum show. And I actually sent in that rant that week. I did it on my computer. And I said, Mississippi State will shock the world this weekend when they go down to Death Valley and knock off LSU. And because it had been so long since Mississippi State had beaten LSU down there, Feinbaum did not show it because he thought, oh, my God, this guy's an idiot. He's stupid. Well, they won. And so the next week I sent in the one for Texas A&M. I called him out. He showed it, and thus the Stingray legend was born.
Yeah, I see Glenn's comment there. Glenn, you don't have to rig up 2 TVs. If you got ESPN News, you can pull up the coaches and hear them all game long talk about the football game. So, that's one question that I meant to ask Coach is, does he that TV gig is a really great gig for coaches because you basically get paid the same amount as you do as a coach.
Yes.
But you don't have to win. You don't have to recruit. You don't have to shake boosters' hands, go to boosters' dinner, talk to politicians, and all that. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to budget. You don't have to do anything.
And real quick, is that the final say that you have on the championship?
Yeah, I just think I think it's going to be a track meet. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. But I think Bama makes a couple of more plays on defense. And I think they pull out a victory by at least 2 scores.
All right. You know me. I've got to do this. Any snow in the forecast this weekend? Okay, so let's go on ahead real quick and do a radar tour. Basically, if you are from Tuscaloosa and points up to the north, if you are up here from about Columbus, Reform, all this up here is heavy snow that is falling north of us. All of this stuff down here in Tuscaloosa is a rain. It is very cold as I'm sitting outside. It is 34 degrees. We are just 2 degrees away from it changing over to snow, but I don't think that's going to happen for us. Now, real quick, Heath, let me just go on ahead because I know you've got to drive here in just a second to get back to your place. let me switch over to the Memphis radar. That there is just a little bit of snow off to your east, and another band that is about to come through from the West Helena area. Let me put this into motion for you, and as you can see, you can see there that there is snow building towards Hernando, Mississippi right now. Let me back this view out. There's also a little bit of snow about to come into the Oxford, Mississippi area. And let me see what else is coming for our friends down here in central Mississippi, because it was basically a whiteout last night in Jackson, Mississippi, and there is still a little bit of snow lifting from Forest, Mississippi over to Philadelphia and DeKalb, Mississippi. So that is the radar update right now. Basically, let me just go on ahead and stop this and say that if you are basically along and north of the 2059 corridor, if you're up here towards Aliceville, Carrollton, Reform, Millport, you're going to see snow. Unfortunately, if you are south of that area, it is going to be a cold rain for the rest of the day.
Look at you, Stephen.
So all of this Millport to Fayette to Berry to Jasper is heavy snow. All of this around Tuscaloosa and Male and Geiger is nothing but cold rain and a little bit of sleet.
Look at you, man. See, I would be like Mike Leach doing the weather. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip or not. He did the weather out in Lubbock, Texas. Yeah, go to YouTube, put in Mike Leach weather, it'll pop up. He's like, you want to know what it's like outside? Walk outside. Put your hands up. That's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
So, my weather expertise would be kind of like Coach Leach's.
So it is very cold outside, and I am wrapped up, but, man, it's getting colder by the minute, let me tell you.
Yeah. I will actually post that clip on the Stingray Show Facebook page. I'll put that clip of Mike Leach doing the weather. How about that?
Yes. I got you. Well, man, go and enjoy the day before the kids get home, and then hopefully you can watch the national championship game tonight.
Yeah, my newly turned 10-year-old son, he'll watch it some with me. He's starting to figure out. I've been trying to tell him that watching Alabama and watching Nick Saban, I've been telling him, I was like, people will be talking about Nick Saban when you're my age.
Yes.
It's like they used to talk about Bear Bryant when I was your age. You know, when you get my age, they'll still be talking about Nick Saban. So he watches. I won't say he's a fan of Alabama, but he watches and he does ask me questions like, "Why are they so good? Why are they so good?"
Right. Yes.
So
I get you.
Yeah, Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. I give him the Lou Holtz quote.
Yes. Well, dude, let's go on ahead and sign off for this special edition of the Stingray Show. We will be back here on social media tomorrow at 1 o'clock to give you all the latest information and the reaction to the national championship game. And let me just go on ahead and say to the Alabama fans watching, and maybe if we have any Ohio State fans, go Buckeyes, roll Tide, good luck tonight. And we will see you back here, right here, tomorrow on the Stingray Show with the 2020 champion of college football. We'll have all the reaction tomorrow, so enjoy it tonight. And as always, God bless.
Have a good Monday and week.
The Dogs and Stingray are coming for you. Hoo, 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 hoo.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn.
Worst defense ever!
So without further ado, here is the biggest. Alabama going for the field goal. The kick is up. It is away. It is no good. Chris Davis bringing it out of the end zone. Oh, he's got blockers. Chris Davis up the sideline. Here he goes.
Here we go, guys. Dobbs back to pass. Launching the ball. Jennings, he's got it. Jennings, he's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. for the Tennessee-Georgia rivalry to end this game. What a play! Wow!